father, before he passed, told me this. There are just some few people in this world that you can trust, who have been through things, who have a story to share, a story to touch lives and touch the world. It's my opening, and I am Victor Shadrach Nate Kwetso. Today on Entrepreneurship with Kwetso, we are about to know how a beautiful venture that you can come in with your partner, with friends and family, enjoy fresh meal juice. We're about to know how. Thank you so much for honoring our invite to have us have a chat with you.
No problem.
We want to know your story, but before that, kindly tell us who you are, your name, and then what you do. Then tell us your story.
Absolutely. So my name is Kwame Bekoe, and I've been in Ghana for 5 years now. I was born and raised in the UK.
Okay.
Until I was about 20. Once I finished my university and everything like that, I started working in the UK for a few years, and then I moved to France actually.
Okay.
I worked in France for about 7 years, 8 years, and then I actually moved back to Ghana.
Okay.
In between the time in Ghana, I spent about a year or two in Dubai.
Okay.
But now I'm back in Ghana, and I'm working in aviation. That's my core profession, I would say. But I'm also involved in food and agriculture on the side. This is what I feel is something that's like a calling to me.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, so you believe that the food agriculture is more of a calling?
Yes, because of the impacts that it will have on local economy and just really just touching people and touching lives, which is what I see myself as being all about. Every day we need to eat, and I think with the direction and the trend in terms of what is happening in the world with regards to food security. It's important that everyone is actively playing their role, and this is almost like my part, my role.
So you want to be sure that the needs of the world is met by providing food, agriculture, and all that.
It's not just the needs of the food in terms of quantity, but also in terms of quality. And that's the principle of what we do here at N8TIVE Bar, which is the restaurant that I started about 3 years ago today. Really just giving good, affordable, quality food, local food, which is very good and quality.
Great. Now tell us, how did you start N8TIVE Bar? I used to pass on this route like quite often.
Right.
I used to even come for book exchange here.
Yeah.
Until now that we have to hear from you how you started N8TIVE Bar. Tell us how you started N8TIVE Bar.
So I would say, firstly, the vision for N8TIVE has been something that's been within me for years, and initially the vision was to open a smoothie bar.
Okay.
Because I've been into pineapple farming and fruit farming and really just to add value to what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
I wanted to open up a chain of smoothie bars. And that's actually how N8TIVE Bar was birthed back in 2017. We found this location, which is on Kofi Annan Street, very prime location. We saw the potential. Initially it was like a dilapidated building. It was a container. It was empty, it was dusty.
So you started with a container?
It was, essentially we are in a container that is being renovated.
Wow. It doesn't look like one at all.
It doesn't look like one at all. When you're inside, you feel like you're in a building, and it's been, they did a very good job.
It doesn't look like one at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, essentially we brought in an architect, who looked at a number of different plans and ideas that he had of how you can create eating spaces and outdoor space, a bar area and a kitchen as well, which of course is crucial. So we looked at that, we studied it, we considered the price and everything, and we just gave it a thumbs up. So I started back then with a business partner who had almost exactly like the same vision. She was also working in the hospitality industry. Had worked for many of the chains here in Ghana, and just had that vision of bringing quality food, at affordable rates. So that's really how the vision started for N8TIVE Bar.
Great. So you mentioned that you were born and raised in the UK. Now let me ask you a question. being in UK and being in Ghana,
Yeah.
where will you choose to be any day, anytime?
I'm in Ghana. This is where
Why?
I want to be, and this is where I want to live.
Why? You were born and raised
I was
in
born
UK.
and raised in the UK. But
By
for
Ghanaian
me-
parents?
By Ghanaian parents.
Yeah.
Both my parents are Ghanaian.
Yeah.
But for me, Ghana is the future.
Ghana is the future.
Yes. When you look at the development, the rate of development,
Yeah.
when you look at the opportunity, when you look at the wealth in terms of human capital,
Yeah.
when you look at natural resources,
Yeah.
there's just so much opportunity here that is untapped.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, as soon as I started coming back to Ghana as a child, and then eventually I came back, I did my JSS here in
Okay.
Ghana.
Okay.
So I spent a few years here, and I
Okay.
was able to appreciate the culture, the people, the food, you know,
Great.
everything.
Great.
And I went back, and I think that's sort of, there was almost like a seed
Yeah.
planted in me
Yeah.
when I came. That I just constantly felt the need and the calling to come back and to establish myself
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And you know, that opportunity came in 2015.
Wow.
And since then I haven't looked back.
Wow. How has it been for you working with Ghanaians? Have you ever worked with an international person before?
Yes, I mean, the
How is
company I
how
work
is the
for-
working experience with local people like Ghanaians?
local Ghanaians.
Yeah, local Ghanaians.
I mean, what I would say is I'm very international in
Okay.
that, you know, I've worked for major, you know, international companies, global companies.
Okay.
And I've also traveled a lot. As you know, I worked in UK, in France,
Yeah.
Ghana,
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm very open-minded when it comes to culture
Okay.
and understanding cultures, understanding where people are coming from.
Okay.
You know, Ghanaians are no different. I mean, you know, it's difficult to stereotype as well. I mean, we understand the background of where people are coming from generally.
Yeah.
Everyone has their needs. Everyone, you know, likes to feel a certain level of appreciation
Absolutely.
and understanding and grow and do
Absolutely.
better.
Absolutely.
So, you know, really the experience here is nothing, I would say, abstract or completely far-fetched. For me, it's really just about understanding the people, understanding the culture,
Yeah.
and then finding a way to work
Yeah.
such that you can really just get along with people
Yeah.
and you know, find a win-win. That's
Yeah.
always key.
Yeah.
Just finding a win-win solution.
Yeah. For you, family and running this, how has that been for you?
It's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have challenges at home or this or that. I mean, what I would say is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to be balanced.
Yeah.
You need to have some level of balance.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes many people look at the sort of Steve Jobs of this world, the Elon Musks, and they tend to stereotype people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Into one bracket,
Yeah.
into thinking that entrepreneurs are all crazy people
Yeah.
who, you know, they don't sleep at all. They live and breathe what they do. But it doesn't necessarily need to be like that.
Yeah.
I think you can be very entrepreneurial, very creative,
Yeah.
and be very balanced
Yeah.
as well. You know,
Yeah. So
have
you
a
believe,
balanced life.
believe that balance is key to running business successfully and then running family successfully.
It's important.
Great.
It's important
Great.
because, of course, you know, I mean, the family unit and having the support from the partner is key. You know, so it's something that I would always encourage
Wow.
to aspiring entrepreneurs to ensure that they have that foundation laid,
Yeah.
and then really just to grow on that basis.
I believe that entrepreneurship is the future.
Entrepreneur has always been part of the future. I mean, someone once said that if you want to see the future, you've got to go and create it. You
Yeah.
know, that's the best way to predict the future. And for me, entrepreneurship is all about the evolution of the socio-economic development of nations, of
Yeah.
society,
Yeah.
of people,
Yeah.
and the fact that we're not going to continuously be doing things the same way. We're always going to, you know, modernize and innovate.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years ago, you know, today everyone has a mobile phone.
Absolutely.
It was someone that came up with this idea
Absolutely.
of a mobile phone.
Absolutely.
You know, it was an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
In 20, 30 years down the line, it may be something completely different.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is the future because anything that is created is essentially created by someone who is entrepreneurial in their attributes and in their actions. You know, and if there wasn't any entrepreneurship, then we would just continue living a standard life just as is. But we know that there will be change in the world. You know, things change. So, of course, entrepreneurship is the
must
future.
be open to change as well.
It's crucial to be open to change. It's not easy to be open to change. Definitely not. And I think those who find it difficult to transition will sometimes see themselves left behind. Or if not left behind, they'll get to the point where they literally are forced to change. Because, for example, we're in a pandemic at the moment. So since March, you know, many countries across the world had a lockdown. So you couldn't physically go from your house to, you know, to trade, to shop, to meet family, to meet people. So everything had to be literally online. So if you wanted to eat, if you wanted to order food, you have to do it online somehow.
I was even just going to ask you, since COVID has happened, and lockdown upon lockdowns came up, how has that affected you as an entrepreneur, and how has that affected N8TIVE Bar as a business, and then especially being food, restaurant and all that? How has that affected it?
So, I mean, you would think that being a restaurant, it would have affected us heavily, and it has affected us, but we've been able to ride the storm. We've been able to ride the waves, should I say, in that today our revenue is more than pre-COVID period, actually. And I think we were able to do that because of the strength of the team that we have here at N8TIVE Bar. As soon as lockdown was announced, even before lockdown was announced, we could see that something was happening. We can see that there was a change happening in the environment, that the mentality of our customers was changing. So we put a number of measures in place. You know, even before the lockdown, we had Veronica buckets, we had sanitizers, we were cleaning, we were.
So it was like you anticipated what was going to happen.
We could anticipate what was happening. And I think in doing that and in projecting that to our customers, we developed a clientele, a customer base who almost trusted us. And then lockdown happened. We engaged with our team. We actually had a one-day team building session. So we brought our whole team. We took them to a resort retreat center, and we just brainstormed. We engaged, we bonded, and we just spoke about the future, what we see about the future. And you know, one of the things I believe and I know is that very few. You were talking about Ghanaian companies, and very few Ghanaian companies may have acted like that, may have done that. What I've noticed about Ghana is that the bond between the staff and the management, there's often a decoupling. You know, it's difficult for staff to communicate to their management because of either fear or anything like that. But what we've tried to do is create open communication. You know, a place where people are open to talk their mind, to speak about what they see, to speak about what they believe, to speak about what changes or improvements can be brought about. And essentially, these people are my front line, the people who see on a day-to-day what is happening. So I, as a manager, as a founder, need to be able to trust in what these guys are seeing and what they're saying, bring myself down to the level where I can understand what they're saying. And implement change. And essentially what we did is, lockdown was announced, we closed for a month, we got together, we had the retreat, the team building, and immediately we decided to prioritize delivery services. So we contracted with a delivery agent, so we had our own motorbike and driver. We signed up with Jumia Delivery, we signed up with Bolt Delivery. We advertised ourselves online and really just pitched to our customers what we are doing with regards to this pandemic. I mean, we had a statement, a company statement with regards to how we are handling the pandemic. So essentially, we were able to recoup the losses we had from sales. By really just prioritizing on deliveries. In fact, what happened before lockdown, we had about 80% of our customers would come in and order in and sit down. About 20% were deliveries. But after lockdown, about 80% of our customers were filling in orders. and only about 20% would come in and actually sit down and eat.
Wow.
So we were able to pivot rapidly and wave that and write that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was possible simply because you had to sit back and plan and prioritize on how to execute this.
Yeah. Just plan, just, sit down and think. And, not just sit down and plan, because everyone plans. What I like to do is to separate myself from my usual surroundings. As I mentioned, the retreat, we all went to Ebri, just a neutral location.
Yeah.
And just to think, just to sit down and think, where is the world going? What direction? And how do we adapt so that we remain relevant, in the future? Because I can tell you, many businesses, many institutions are going to fail over this lockdown.
Yeah.
But then there are going to be businesses that are going to thrive.
Yeah.
So the question we had is, what do we need to do to make sure that we're in the latter?
Yeah, it's amazing. I wouldn't have gotten this from anywhere. Thank you so much for for your time, and thank you so much for sharing this with us.
That's fine.
And before we go, tell us where we can find N8TIVE Bar. What is special about N8TIVE Bar?
Excellent. So we are located on the Kofi Annan Street, which is very close to Nyaho Clinic, in Airport Residential area of Accra.
Yeah.
And N8TIVE Bar is natural, fresh, and healthy restaurant. We specialize in Ghanaian dishes, and also fruit smoothies. So we have a number of variety of different smoothies that we produce fresh. A lot of the food that we have is coming fresh from the farm. I mean, I mentioned I'm in agriculture as well. So we're really critical with regards to our source of food and our products. And also, what is unique about us is, our focus is really to utilize the best of Ghanaian spices. Those, local spices, rather than relying on some of these cubes and things like that. We are really just taking, our customers back to the experience where food was fresh, was natural, was organic, and our focus really is just boosting health, boosting people's mentality and spirit. So that's really what N8TIVE Bar is all about.